Hey everybody, I'm Herschel from High School Top 200, and this Wanganui Collegiate review of 2016 is brought to you by Fineline Barbers. Now what Fineline Barbers has done is that they've joined up with a major barbering supplier here in New Zealand, and they are putting together an Aotearoa barber competition. This Aotearoa barber competition is going to take place in September 2017, and it's going to be held on one day here in Hamilton. What Fineline Barbers are going to do is they're going to set up a Facebook page and an Instagram page for barbers around the country to upload their work so that we as a public can go in and see what they can do and see the talent that we have here in New Zealand. Also, there's going to be a lot of vendors, and also barber shops are going to be turning up, putting on a show and things like that, and also it's going to show us as the public what kind or how big the barbering industry here is in New Zealand and the talent that we have. So keep that in mind. Aotearoa Barber competition in September 2017, put together by Fineline Barbers and my boy Vinnie. This Wanganui Collegiate, the 50th ranked team in the country, is an interesting team because I think Wanganui Collegiate has one of the strongest histories in terms of rugby, and I think that they want to be back in a place where they can at least have a chance to claim that again, which is a great attitude to have, and I think that they're going in the right direction in the way that they want to do it. They've gone out and they've tried to find players that will that suit the team, that suit the structure, that understand the value of being at Wanganui Collegiate, and understand the pride that they have, I think, and the way that they want to play. They have joined. They're in the CNI competition, which is a really good competition, and it's getting better, and they want to be better going along with this competition as well. So for me, looking at a team like Wanganui Collegiate and looking at a team that is starting to build on top of what they already have, I think that this can be one of those teams that has the success. They have put together a program, and it is working, and I think it is going to be working, and it's going to continue to work as long as they as long as they keep getting the players that they go out and seek and find. It is not easy in the CNI competition, but also nationally. Nationally, to be a force within rugby, it is not easy to be consistent year after year. So when you're starting to build a program, you have to have the full support of the school, as well as the full support of the parents, as well as the full support of administration, and and if you want to succeed, then you just have to make the moves to succeed. And if you think that it's just going to happen just by chance, then you're going to be waiting a pretty long time, because it just doesn't work like that anymore in first 15 rugby. Everyone is competitive, and Wanganui Collegiate wants to be the same, and they're building it to be the same. They had some really good players that I really liked this year. Sam, Joseph, and Jonathan. Finn Cleary, Sam Beard and Jonathan Hazelhurst and Jonathan Lockton were like really good players. I liked Patrick Park, and I think that he was a guy that was maybe overlooked a little bit within the region, and I think he should have maybe got a bit more attention. Joseph was another one. Ruben Keller was a really reliable player that was a solid player within his position, knowing his position. Angus Taylor, I thought, was really good too. Fino who was the number 8, is one of their Fijian guys they got along with Joseph. Rokoto Kala. Fino is a really big number 8, and I thought that they would at least invite him down into the Hurricanes camp. I think he needed to be there because I think next year Fino is going to be one of the best props within that Hurricane region, and so I thought that they would bring him down and say, this may not be your year this year, but this is what we want you to see, so that next year you know what you're coming into and you know your expectations, and you can learn from these other number 8s. I think along with him and Devon Flanders from Hastings Boys, those two, probably along with Keelan Whitman, are probably going to be some of the stronger number 8s within the Hurricanes region. Cody Hemi was a really good player this year. At first 5, I thought he did really good. Harry Unsworth, I thought was had a bit of a down year for his standards, but was still pretty high. Going to the camp and everything as well with the Hurricanes, but for his standards, I think he had a down year. But because I thought he would have done a bit better, but that is always dependent on your situations. Like, they're not always the same, and I just thought, once he got to reps, that they would have seen the talent that he has too, because he is such a talented player who's got so much speed, and he works good at centre as well as on the wing as well. So yeah, I thought that they had some really good talented players, and Paiki Ponga coming through as well with Ben Kelt, some young fellas that I'm pretty excited to see next year and see what they can do next year, because it's going to be pretty cool seeing what they can put together. Zach Simpson should be back next year with Opportunity Dryden too. And so, looking at some of these guys that are returning for Collegiate, they're going to be a pretty strong team. They had some really good wins early on against Hatupolta and Te Aute, and they had a pretty bad loss against New Plymouth Boys and Napier. And then to top it off with the one that I saw and that I was at against St Paul's Collegiate. But when they played against Fielding, they really battled them down and got them to a 13-10 loss, which was still good for their standards. They put up 80 points against Hibs, also against St John's College and Hastings. They got 65. They beat Lindisfarne. They played pretty good against Wesley. I think they should have done a bit better. But yeah, and overall, I think they're on a target to getting better and better, and it showed once they got to quad against Wellington, Nelson, and Christ College. They actually stood up and they were competitive, and they were competitive to the point where they were in the same realm as teams that were in the top 25, and they were pushing them right to the end. That's the kind of team that I'll be confident in, is that when you get around 3 other teams that are all nationally known as strong rugby teams within that year, and then you can push them every single time to the full 70 minutes and threaten their reputation. I mean, like, if you look at it, Wanganui lost to Wellington 18-8 and then lost to Nelson 17-29. Like, that's big. That's good as for a team like that, who in the beginning of the year lost to New Plymouth Boys 47-13 and lost to Napier Boys 40-7, and then lost to St Paul's Collegiate 76-5. Now, I would take that Wanganui Collegiate team at the end to the one in the beginning and know that, all right, we're getting somewhere, we're improving, and this is the track that we want to be on. I'd rather win the games or lose, get better at the end, than actually be better in the beginning and then start fading away. This team is on the way to improvement, and they're gonna get there, and they just need the support of everybody, and that's what I say. Like, once Wanganui Collegiate gets that support, they have the systems already, they have the coaching staff and the attitude and the culture that they want, and once that all takes place and falls into place, this is going to be a team that you probably wouldn't really want to play all the time, because they're going to be strong and they're going to start wrecking some reputations around the country once they get going. That's my review of Wanganui Collegiate. We made it to 50. Sorry I couldn't do all the rest. I really wanted to do King's High School, also St Kevin's. I wanted to do Francis Douglas. I really wanted to do some other schools like Otahu College. Schools like that. Te Aotea was another one that I wanted to do, because I really like Te Aotea just as a team. But I'm sorry to all those that I couldn't do, and I'll try and do that next year with my previews of 2017. That's all the time. Peace.